Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Katie and today we are going to be making another fall themed treat box. This time it is going to be holding these party cakes. So I got these in the fall theme. I got them both chocolate and vanilla, and I'm going to show you how I created this box. So here's kind of just a close-up. I did use a different stamp set and a different leaf die cut than the last time. And then one of them was the same from what I cut apart last time as well. And then it's the same paper too, because I have tons of it and I'm trying to use it up. So what you will need, I'm just going to kind of get all of these out of the way, cut a whole bunch because I have to make 20 or so total. Just kind of back that up a little bit. You will need a sheet of paper that measures 7 by 5. So 7 across, 5 in the height. And then you are going to score at 1 1/4 and on each end. So you score, 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 score. Now again, you don't need a scoring tool to do this, but it does make it a lot easier, and there are a ton of them on the market that are quite affordable. And then when you're done scoring, you're going to cut that little corner edge like I just did. And then I always like to get the edges too. It's just easier for when you're folding, it's less bulk, and it seems to come together much better. So the cardstock that I'm using is actually stuff I had from Michael's, and I believe this is a heavier weight. It is either 80 or 110, but it's quite thick cardstock. I don't think you necessarily need it to be quite that heavy, but it is good when making treat boxes to use a heavier weight, at least on the bottom portion. That way it can hold whatever you're stuffing in it. And then I am taking a bone folder just to get those nice sharp edges. And I'll just take my ATG gun. You could use, strips of glue. You could use liquid glue. You could use tear tape. You could probably use glue dots as well. But just for kind of ease of this, I'm just going to use the ATG. It holds up pretty well. In fact, I think I'm going to just add a little bit of liquid here too, just because I've noticed that this particular tape is not quite as good as the name brand ATG. This is an off-brand. It does work, but if there's humidity in the air, it doesn't seem to want to hold together as well. And really all I'm doing is just taking the corner and folding it up. And you can see, since we cut that edge down, you don't see any overhang. You just kind of see it going down. And this one right here. And I didn't decorate the box. I kept the box very plain. You could, before you folded it up, you could run it with a embossing folder. You could stamp on it. You could do a whole bunch of stuff. But I kept the boxes plain, and I'm essentially just decorating the top. So the top is done in the exact same manner, except the measurements, which everyone's going to laugh at me again, is 6 3/4 plus 1 line. So one little itty bitty line. So if I get my cutter out, and then the other way is 3 3/4 plus 1 line. So what I mean by that, so we go to 3 and then 1 2 3/4, that extra little line right there. So 1 2 3, and then that extra little line, and that extra little line gives you the exact amount that you need to get the top on, where it fits on it snug enough where it won't fall off, but not too snug where you can't get the top on. I think my husband told me the exact measurements of 16ths it was, and I completely forgot what he told me. So I will actually put what it really is in the description below, but I just count the 1/4 and add a line, because honestly, that's easy enough for me to see and to add. And most you know, trimmers, at least in the US, go by 16ths, so you just count one little line over. The box top is going to be put together the exact same way, except since it's so small, I am going to use a smaller glue runner. So a tape runner right here. This stuff works pretty good. This is just the regular Stampin' Seal. I know they have Stampin' Seal Plus, which I think is their more heavy duty, but again, this will work. We're just going to fold it up. All 4 edges. And then the scoring for this, you're going to do it on all 4 sides, and you score at 3/4 less 1 line. So I'm going to take this out again. So you would score at the 3/4 line, which would be right there, less 1. So that little line right there. So you go to 3/4 and you subtract a line. And again, my husband told me what it actually was, and I don't remember. So I'll just put it down in the description. So then these cakes fit right in there, and since they have like a little bit of air in them, because when you kind of make them a little snug, they puff up a little bit. But you can see that they fit in here really well. These are just the Little Debbie party cakes. I can actually get the box. So it's these ones. They had chocolate or vanilla, and you get, you know, 2 per package, just the usual Little Debbie stuff. But they fit really well in this box. And then we'll get the top on. And you can see it fits really nice and it's not overly snug. And that is the top. So what we're going to do first is put on this piece of paper, which this is 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then I took my tool that I use from Cricut to kind of distress the edges. But again, you don't actually need that tool as long as you have a good scissors. You can just take the edge of the scissors and kind of do that too. And you really get the same effect. I'm going to glue this down first and then wrap it just to get some texture. I'm going to get this down right in the middle. And then I have a whole bunch of this twine from a project I did last year or the year before. I think I got that from Michael's, and it's a good fall color and a good little bit of texture. And I'm just putting it on with some washi tape that I had in my stash. And even though it's not fall themed washi tape, no one's going to really know because nobody really looks at the back of the box. And then we're going to go ahead and assemble. So these are the leaves I originally picked out. But I'm kind of wondering if I want to change it up a bit. That's really pretty. So I cut out tons of leaves, so all different colors. Just kind of push them in here. This is from the first project. This was the leftover. And this comes from this Changing Leaves. So it's that stamp set with the 3D embossing folder that gives it the texture, and then it cuts it out as well. I think I'll stick to what I originally had. I had the green and this, and I just kind of assembled it together. So I'm just going to use liquid glue. You can use liquid, glue dots, tape runner would work on this as well, because they're not really tiny pieces or anything like that. Kind of wanted that a little bit over there. And then this one is textured. So you can see that I did add some texture to this. The embossing folder that I used is this one. It's called the Distressed Tile 3D. So this is essentially what you get. You kind of get an old vintage tile look, which I thought was really cool. So it didn't take away from the leaves, and I kind of added a little something to it. It's just gonna go right there. And then these two are cut from this set. So that leaf that I texturized is also from this set, but this comes in this die set. So this is a stamp and die set, and I'll show you real quick what it looks like, because it does kind of cut out the little veins of the leaf as well, which I thought was really cute. So I'm just kind of tucking these guys behind there. Just give a little bit of color. And then we will stamp. So I'll show you the dies that come in this. So I ended up using these, this one, and this one. And what's fun with this stamp and die set is you actually get 2 of these and 2 of these. One of the bigger ones, so I cut out those 2 as well, but you get multiple, so you can actually cut out a whole bunch at the same time. And you can see that they have the little groove in them to actually cut out the veins, which I thought was really cool. And then this is to cut out the veins to kind of add on top as a layer. Just to keep this simple, I decided to just cut out those just in the shape. I didn't stamp them, I just cut them. I kind of wanted the paper to do all the work, just like the last one. And then with this one, we're going to use crumb cake. And the saying I have, or the sentiment, is you are amazing in every way. And this is from that Changing Leaves set as well. And then the die cut is actually, this is really a nice die cut. It's got a nice like stitched edging. That is also a part of this as well. So it's this one right here. And you can either, you know, personal preference, stamp then cut, or cut all the die cuts and then stamp. It really, it's kind of personal preference. And then to decorate it, I'm going to use these champagne iridescent dots. So on this, I am going to add a little bit of dimension. And right now I'm just using a whole bunch of these squares that I have left over from Close to My Heart. So this was part of their shaker dies. So I'm putting 2 on one side and then 1 on the other. And this is just to give it some dimensional. So the 2-sided or 2 thickness is going to go on the paper, and the other one will go on the leaf. That way, because there's bulk over here because of the 3 layers, that way it'll lay flat. And then I'm going to use these, and there's these I think I got on clearance a while ago, and you just get a whole bunch of them, and they're really shiny and very pretty and really good for fall. So I decided to break them out for this project. They give just a little bit of a shine without, you know, taking away from anything. And I'm just going to kind of do what I did before. And they come in 3 different sizes, but one's really, really itty bitty. Like, those guys are really, really tiny. So maybe I'll use those someday, maybe even in a shaker card. So I'm just going to take my glue. See if I can do this. Remember exactly where I put them. This little tool is pretty handy. I got this sent to me for free from a demonstrator. She's having a deal that if you spent so much or joined something, like joined her little club, then you could get one of these sent to you. Except I'm still not sure I 100% love it. And maybe I got too much of this goo sticking out. Anyone who knows how to use this very well. I'm also probably putting on way too much glue, but that's okay. I just can never seem to get it to just stick and not stick to the stickiness. So I'm definitely doing something wrong with this tool. So anyone who is a current demonstrator, if you could give me some tips and tricks on how to use this the right way. And I feel like this goo just constantly is coming out. I don't even touch this thing to twist it or anything. So it's probably user error, but it is pretty handy, because otherwise I'd have to, you know, like use my nails and kind of claw at it. But That's neither here nor there. It was a nice free gift, so I must say I do like it. It comes with this part, which is nice, so it's a little like spatula. So if you need to lift stuff up, it can kind of go right under, which is nice because sometimes my nails are quite short. And then it came with, I think this is the extra putty, and then this scoring tool, which I haven't used, and I don't know if I will because I still have their old scoring tool from probably 10, 15 years ago, something like that. So I use that most often, but still. Again, if anyone has any tips on this, I can't seem to get it to work the way I wish it would work, but I'm sure it is an amazing tool, and again, user error. So this is the box that we created again today, and it is using that same paper that I've had in my stash for, again, at least 10 years. Just colored cardstock that I thought either coordinated with the paper or was very fall themed, and, you know, some simple sentiments. And I made them brown and gray, and essentially they either get chocolate cakes or vanilla cakes. So again, these are the projects. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, anyone want to give me some pointers, I would be much appreciative of that. But otherwise, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I will see you guys next time, and happy crafting.